We can now go across to Washington, where François Picard is standing by. François, good morning to you. Polls have just opened where you are. What's the mood like as voting gets underway?
Well, it's a sunny day. People are headed to the polls. Should be said, here in the District of Columbia, there's been early voting, as has been the case in neighboring Maryland, where the polls are also opening. Virginia 1 hour ago. There had been warnings of trouble. Everybody here remembers January 6, 2021. We've seen some stores boarded up, but not as many as 4 years ago. What's also interesting, Delano, is that everybody's talking about COVID again suddenly, just because last election was so different from all of the others. They'd had a record number of people who did mail-in voting. That record's not been topped. But this election, nationally, topping the number of people who voted early. We saw a lot of them when we traveled around to more rural parts of Maryland. 82 million people in total have already cast their ballot this election day in the United States.
François, you mentioned that some stores have been boarded up. Donald Trump has once again started to sow doubt in this election process. Are there concerns among people you've been speaking with that if he loses, he may not accept the outcome?
The people we were speaking to, this is in a part of a congressional district where there's a very tight race for an open seat that is in a district that touches both West Virginia and Pennsylvania. They weren't so much worried about Maryland, but more what would happen in neighboring Pennsylvania. There are tensions. We also spoke to supporters of Donald Trump, who said that this is just campaign rhetoric. At the end of the day, it will all go off peacefully.
François, Kamala Harris has been criticized for not really getting into specifics during the campaign. She's only had 3 months, to campaign after Joe Biden dropped out of the race. She's had the tricky task, hasn't she, of taking the best of Joe Biden's presidency while at the same time putting some distance between her and the current president.
When we spoke to voters about the issue that mattered most to them, Trump supporters, for many, it was this issue of inflation, which, even though it has gone down now, really hit people hard post-pandemic. And it's a difficult one to talk about. Harris's strategy has been to try to unite as many people as possible. Her best bet for that has been an anti-Trump message, which has brought in disgruntled Republican voters, disgruntled over issues like reproductive rights, where there are amendments on the ballot in 10 different states. It was interesting to note, Delano, at her last campaign rally in Philadelphia, on those famous steps from the movie Rocky, that he climbs up in a triumphant fashion, that she did not mention Donald Trump in her last rally. A little bit of a change of tack. Instead, trying to post a positive, uplifting message in contrast to that we heard in Grand Rapids, Michigan, for the last rally for the former president, where again he hurled insults at his rival.
I guess we'll see whose strategy works in the coming hours, coming days. Who knows? Thank you very much for that, François Picard, reporting that for us from Washington, D.C.